So today's video we're going to be showing you guys how to clean the carburetor on any small engine pretty much. In this case I'm going to be cleaning out the carburetor from this generator that I actually had it stored in my trailer. It's been stored in there for at least 2 years. I want to go start it. It's only running on choke. So I'm pretty sure that this one's going to be a little carb problem. But I hate wasting time, so let's get straight to it. Alright, so I'm just pretty much going to start off by just taking off this cover for the air filter, which should just pop right off and come right off. That air filter doesn't look too bad. As you guys can see, it's pretty clean, but that doesn't mean that the carburetor is not dirty. Alright, so now in this case, I need to get to these two 10mm nuts over here, so I have to take off these 4 Phillips screws. Alright, and now this little cover should just pop right off. There you go. And now we can actually get to our 2 10mm nuts. Alright, so now we can just pull off this whole air filter assembly, and it should just come right off just like that. Don't worry about these little hoses. Those usually just go to the air filter to get more air into the engine. And right off the bat, I can smell a lot of old gas coming from here, and the gas is still on, so that obviously leads me to think that the last time we used this, we didn't shut off the gas, which led to the carburetor problem. So now what we can do is you can shut off your gas right here. It should just twist, and now our gas is shut off. I'm going to have to drain out all this old gas anyways, because I'm not going to be running a fresh, clean carburetor with all this old gas. You are going to have to disconnect these rods right here that usually hook up to the throttle and the choke and stuff. Alright, so I just got the carburetor off, and as you guys can see, we got some old gasket right here, so I am going to clean all that off, and I'm going to add some fresh new gaskets to it. These gaskets are really just falling apart from all the time that it's been sitting, but I have a lot of fresh gaskets, so that doesn't really mean a lot. Now, if you don't want to go through the process of cleaning the carburetor, you can obviously just order a brand new one. It saves you a lot of time, and if there is some big issues with this carburetor, a lot of times you're going to have to order a new one either way, so yeah. Alright, so first off, I would recommend cleaning a nice little table or something, because you are going to get a lot of little pieces from this carburetor, sort of like the jets and stuff like that, and a lot of small bolts and screws, so yeah. Alright, so one of the first things that I like to do is actually remove this little housing that just holds the actual float inside. So yeah, this is just held on with the 10mm bolt. Now, usually you're going to have 2 bolts, and the one that's usually in the middle with a little red gasket on it, or a little black gasket most of the time, is usually what holds on your whole housing. And then the little bolt on this side is usually where you can use to drain your gas out. So yeah, now we're just going to pull out this actual whole housing from the carburetor. Alright, so right off the bat, just look at the float. It's all yellow and gunked up. And if you look at this housing right here, you can see all that little gunk in there. You can see all the old dried up gas. So here I got a little bucket full of nice clean gas. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to soak this little housing in there so you guys can see how dirty it's going to get after we finish cleaning this whole piece apart. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to push out this little pin right here. This is what actually holds on the float. It's just a nice little pin that holds on right there. You don't want to lose this. You can also soak that in gas. And then I'm going to pull off the float. There's a lot of flaking from all the old gas on this. And then there is going to be a little like needle. Here you guys can see the little needle right here. It's what actually stops the gas. So when this goes down, it closes up a little hole which shuts off the gas. And when this opens back up, it opens gas and then lets the gas in. So yeah, as you guys see, look at all this flaking. So I am just going to dump this in the bucket of gas. And then same thing with this housing. I am just going to dump it in there as well. Alright, so it's been a good 3 hours or so since I actually put all these pieces into some gas to clean them out. And the carburetor itself cleaned out pretty good. I'm going to have to take out this jet with the flathead screwdriver and really clean out all those little holes to make sure that gas is going through properly. And then I actually dumped out all the gas from where I soaked everything. And here you guys can see all that gunk that came off of that carburetor. This container was clean before I put anything in there. Just look at it now. It's really dirty. And then with the actual assembly that holds the float, that was really, really dirty. So I had to actually put it in some rust dissolver, which is actually sitting right now to hopefully clean it up as much as it can. But yeah, so we're going to hit you guys with a quick time lapse of me pretty much taking out this main jet right here with the flathead screwdriver, just pretty much loosening it. And then I'm going to clean out all those little holes and then just blow everything off, hit it with a little bit of carburetor cleaner, put it all together, and hopefully cleaned out pretty good. Alright, so I just finished up cleaning those jets and I just put the float back together and everything as well. And a lot of dirt came out, but a good way to test if you did it right is you can blow into where your gas line usually goes. And then when you have this facing down, air should go through. When you close this up, the air shouldn't go through. So pretty much how a flow works is when it wants to let in gas, this float usually goes down, and then when the gas starts filling up, it goes up, and then it shuts off the gas right there, so no more gas can go into the carburetor. So yeah, that's a good way to test it, to make sure that you did it right so you don't overflow your carburetor. Yeah, I'm gonna put the assembly back together, and then the whole carburetor should be ready to go and back to install. As you guys saw by that last clip, it started right up. I didn't have to use choke or anything, and it runs perfect. One thing that I do have to get for it though is a right gasket for it. I just use a temporary gasket just to make sure that it starts and the carburetor works, but it does. So I hope you guys learned how to clean your own carburetor at home. It's just a whole bunch of screws, taking apart stuff, and pretty much just cleaning it out, getting it ready for fresh gas. But I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, feel free to hit that like button, and we'll see you guys in the next one.